Welcome back. We're focusing on education tonight. Earlier, we looked at basic education and the impact of COVID-19. Let's look at the challenges of tertiary institutions now. Many are starting to facilitate off-campus studies, but it's hard for pupils who don't have laptops, Wi-Fi and maybe space. The University of the Witwatersrand, Wits, and the University of Johannesburg have allocated 30 gigabytes of data to students at no cost, but students using the hashtag boycott online learning feel that's not enough. Well, to discuss, we're now joined by the Vice-Chancellor of Wits University, Professor Habib. Professor, thank you. I understand learning is kicking off online today. Tell us the thinking behind that decision.
Well, firstly, we did start today. It was an incredibly successful day. We had about 15,000 students enter our learning management systems at between 9:30, 9:30 and 10:30, which suggested that people were taking up, students were particularly taking up the opportunity to learn. We've been very keen. We cannot afford to have students lose the next 3 months. We think it's important that students learn that this academic year is not lost for the vast majority of students. They need to graduate, they need to move on and ensure that they get jobs and assist their families. And we want to make sure that we go out of our way, move heaven and earth to ensure that each one gets a fair opportunity to complete the academic year.
There has been some criticism. Some students say they don't have the tools they need. Some universities holding back, still assessing the readiness of students. Are you sure you didn't jump the gun, as it were?
I'm convinced we didn't jump the gun. We've done a lot of research. We've done a whole bit of analysis on how many students don't have devices, how many students have connectivity problems, and we've addressed that. I have a group of students that do indeed oppose this. They make all kinds of claims in the public domain. They've done no research. They have no empirical data, and yet they criticize. We've done research. We have got empirical data. I can tell you now that about 10% of our students do not have devices. We have therefore bought 5,000 devices and sent them those devices on loan. As you indicated, we provided 30 gigabytes of data. Our analysis suggests that you need anything to between 20 and 25 to participate fully in teaching and learning online. So we think we've gone out of our way to create an enabling opportunity for all of our students.
Yeah.
If some students don't succeed online, then we will make an opportunity when we return to campus. We'll run a face-to-face program on a new academic calendar. But while there is an opportunity for enabling learning, we should make sure that we do so. I don't see what the problem is. And anybody who's opposed to it has not put forward a rational reason on why they oppose to online learning when all of the challenges associated with it has been addressed in one form or the other.
Yeah. Even with online learning, can you save this academic year now?
I think we can save the academic year if we are serious about taking on online learning. Where the institutions are in a position to launch online learning, then we should allow them to do so. Where institutions don't have the capacity, we should assist them to develop the capacity. There's about 5 or 6 universities that launched online learning as of the 20th of April, which is today. I think that they should be supported. We should let them proceed. We should, where there are mistakes, we should correct them. And we should use it as a learning experience so that other institutions don't make the same mistake.
Yeah.
Online learning is being attempted around the world. Why would we deny our students this opportunity?
The 30 gigs of data, was that a cost borne by Wits University, or have you received support in that?
It is a cost borne by Wits University. The 5,000 computers is a cost borne by Wits University. We have gone out engaging our corporate partners, some private foundations to ask for some assistance. We have been promised some assistance in this regard. And so we hope that not all of that cost will be borne by the university, but there will definitely be a portion that is borne by the university. We think it's legitimate. We want to ensure that all of our students get an opportunity to do online learning. We have said openly and publicly that we will move heaven and earth to make sure that every single one of our students, rich or poor, is given a fair opportunity to conclude. And that's why we've taken the very, very serious step of procuring 5,000 devices, of ensuring that every student is given 30 gigabytes of data. Most of the students are actually taking it up. The student leadership who claim they speak for students actually have gone rogue on those students. They do not represent the best interests of the student community. That is why so many of the students are actually taking it up. Go into my social media accounts, into the Wits University social media accounts, and see how many students are saying, this is exactly what we would want to do. Those who are opposed to this are doing so for political reasons and no other reason. And it is unacceptable that we allow them to determine the future of higher education in this country.
All right, so you're adamant that students are prepared. I understand that Vice-Chancellors met on Friday and came up with proposals to be discussed by Cabinet. Give us some insight into what you discussed when you got together.
We had a meeting as Vice-Chancellors through the University of South Africa, which is the representative body of all Vice-Chancellors. We looked and we agreed that we will be defined by certain principles. Those principles is to ensure that every single student, rich or poor, is given a fair opportunity to conclude the academic year. We also undertook to ensure that we will help each other to go to engage in online learning. We also agreed that we would consider that we would use multiple pathways to learning. So we will use online learning, we'll use face-to-face learning, and we will use all pathways so that our students, from whatever circumstances they are, will be given a fair opportunity to learn. And we agreed. Wits University made it clear that meeting that we will launch formally on Monday, April 20th. The University of Johannesburg said the same. Stellenbosch University, I know UCT's launched, although it's doing an orientation program for this week. So there's a number of universities that indicated that they were ready to move and would proceed in this regard. We also called on government to provide support for those institutions that are not in a position to actually go on to online learning. And we said that as institutions who are in a position, we try and assist them in any way we can.
A final quick question. I mean, self-study may work, but that social aspect, the clubs, the sports, the debates, missing. Is that very sad for you?
It is absolutely sad. I mean, ideally, I think whether we like it or not, some kind of face-to-face interaction is very important for learning, because universities are about creating a cohesive and coherent community. The problem with what we are is this is not a situation of our making. We are in a very, very difficult situation. And what we've got to do is try and look at how do we respond in this environment. And that's simply what we're doing. This is not, we hope, the only form of learning that we will have in the future. Hopefully we will return back and some kind of blended learning experience can emerge, face-to-face, online, and an interaction between the two. That's the future of learning. And that's where we should go back to as soon as the pandemic, the consequences of the pandemic are addressed.
All right. Thank you very much for your time tonight. The Vice-Chancellor of Wits University, Professor